Boxers retire early, just to come back. Earlier last week, Gervonte Davis announced that he would be retiring from boxing in 2025 after his fight with Lamont Roach in March of next year to work on his real estate portfolio and get out of the limelight. This retirement announcement only comes after 30 fights professionally at the ripe age of 30, which for many combat sports athletes is prime age where experience crosses over with athletic ability. This abrupt announcement, of course, has fans pissed as many are disappointed with Gervonte considering retirement before facing a lot of guys at 135 to 140 that the people want to see, with some going as far as to say he's ducking those guys. Maybe that's too far, but we can all admit if Gervonte Davis does retire at the height of his career, that would be one of the most disappointing moves in boxing today. If Gervonte Davis does retire,
I ain't gonna lie, if he retire, I feel like that would be kind of disappointing, because the fact that this man not even, I ain't gonna lie, his ass probably had some clout back then, but his ass just now getting his clout and getting his name up and like building himself as a boxer, as a like mainstream fighter, you know? He just now doing that for real, because I just now found out who the fuck he was within the last 2-3 years. I ain't know who Gervonte Davis, I knew who he was, but I never really heard nothing about him until he fought Ryan Garcia. Now everybody keep talking about him. So it's like, I feel like if he retired, that wouldn't be smart. I feel like it's a couple more fights that need to happen before he retire. Y'all let me know. Do y'all feel like he need to fight Shakur or get Ryan a rematch? I don't know. Hey, and I ain't gonna lie. Whatever folks' name is that he finna fight, I'm gonna look that nigga up and look at his highlights on here with y'all, because I ain't never seen him fight for real. I ain't gonna lie. Never seen his boxing matches.
it would be one of the greatest what ifs in boxing history.
Good for
but
real.
I highly doubt that Gervonte Davis is going to retire for good. A lot of prime boxing stars have been retiring recently, only to come back a couple months later. And of course, all of this starts with Floyd Mayweather, the guy who impacted the modern boxing era and these stars' decision making, and who actually retired first in 2007 after his fight with Oscar De La Hoya at only 38-0 and at the age of, you guessed it, 30. After the fight, Floyd said, "I still plan on retiring. I have nothing left to prove. I want to spend more time with my children." As of now, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is officially retired from the sport of boxing. However, that was just a fucking lie, as he literally in the same year would go on to fight Ricky Hatton and put on my favorite performance as he knocked out the Brit in the 10th. But then after that fight, Floyd said he would actually retire for real and was going to retire from boxing after this fight, saying, quote, "I am sorry I have to leave the sport at this time, knowing I still have my God-given abilities to succeed and future multi-million-dollar paydays ahead. There comes a time when money doesn't matter. I just can't do it anymore. I have found a peace with my decision that I have not felt in a long time." Which was also just another lie, as 2 years later he would come out of retirement and face Juan Manuel Marquez and then go on to become 50-0, capping off his professional career in 2017 after fighting Conor McGregor in the super fight. Now jumping.
This nigga said he was gonna retire at the age of 30. And he still became 50-0. He was 30-0 when he said he retiring. And now for some reason, this nigga 50-0. See, that should tell y'all something. These niggas is lying. What if that nigga Gervonte Davis just doing the same little thing he be doing?
A lot of the guys today are doing the exact same thing, retiring early just to come back a couple months later. Tyson Fury announced his retirement in 2022 after defeating Dylan White, and of course pulled a Mayweather by fighting in the exact same year when he took Derek Chisora for a third time and said that that would be a great last fight to end his career. He did all of this just for him to come back a year later to fight Francis Ngannou and then seemingly come back for good, fighting Usyk, and then now with him scheduled for the rematch. Same thing happened with Teofimo Lopez. At only 25 in 2023, after his win over Josh Taylor, Teofimo would announce that he would retire from the sport of boxing on top. And like Tyson and like Floyd, Teofimo almost immediately returned a couple months later when he fought Jermaine Ortiz in February 2024 and looks to have returned for good. And in an even shorter turnaround, fellow young boxing star Shakur Stevenson retired in the beginning of this year just to come out of retirement a month later on social media, saying he couldn't keep himself away from the game. And just a couple months after this return announcement, in July, he would come back and fight in probably the shittiest fight of the year. But anyways, of course, this brings us back to today, where seemingly Gervonte Davis is pulling the exact same stunt. Maybe Gervonte Davis is telling the truth and is really going to build his real estate portfolio and get out of the limelight, But then again, history has shown this is probably not going to happen. So why are all these young boxers seemingly in their prime like to retire on top just to come back a couple months later? Let's first talk about the power dynamics of boxing. I have countless videos talking about the unique and really infamous power dynamic of boxing and how different it is in comparison to practically all other sports. I think Joe Rogan explains it the best. When you watch the World Cup in soccer or the Super Bowl in American football, it's billed and promoted as the World Cup or the Super Bowl. Even when you watch the UFC, the event is mostly billed as UFC 310 or whatever number it may be. Sure, everyone is mostly there for the main event or even the co-main too, but UFC promotes the
Hold on. It's a holiday right there. That's a holiday. That's a holiday. That's my birthday right there. That's my birthday. Hey, if y'all ain't tell me happy birthday, y'all some bitch ass niggas. Y'all wish me happy birthday, nigga. You better wish me happy birthday, little nigga. Okay. Happy belated birthday at that. Cause if you ain't wish me one yet, nigga, you late on bro. Hey, I dropped a video on my birthday. Everybody in the comments was saying happy birthday. I ain't even make it about my birthday. Y'all some real niggas.
Sure, everyone is mostly there for the main event or even the co-main too, but UFC promotes the entire event itself. When you watch a boxing match, it's not billed as the WBC title match, or it's not even billed as the lightweight championship match. It's really promoted by the names of the fighters on the main event. Those two guys. No one really gives a fuck about a boxing undercard, and all the promotion really comes down to is that one fight at the end of the night. And that should tell you all you need to know about the power dynamics in boxing. Usually, the top boxers get practically everything they want because they have all the leverage in the world because the entire sport depends on them. Why are so many boxers undefeated or have incredible records? Because they have the power to pick and choose which fighters they want to face. Once a fighter is the A side to an event, they practically call the shots. And most often it's because they have an undefeated record, and so to keep being on the A side and keep having all this power, there's this massive incentive to keep on cherry picking, and these guys can again cherry pick and pick their opponents because they have an undefeated record that made them a star, and so the cycle continues.
So look, alright. I feel like a lot of these boxers, they do be picking weak ass fights. Cause if you look at a lot of they old matches and shit, they was going against weak ass niggas. And then they even be going against niggas. You would look at them and be like, bro, how's they even inside a boxing? How the fuck did they make a professional? I didn't know boxing was so easy to become professional. Never heard of Lamonte Roach at all. I heard a lot of boxers, never heard of him at all. I hope he don't get his ass knocked out. Everybody be going in here. Only person I feel like actually did some shit was Ryan Garcia. That was a good fight, but like he said, when you on the A side, you get to call all the shots. Ryan Garcia and him was both on the A side, but he had the more of the advantage because nigga, he got more fights, more. You feel me? He that nigga, I guess. Ryan Garcia had to come. He got to call all the shots, and that's why Ryan Garcia lost. Now, if Ryan Garcia got to call all the shots and he would have went up a weight class and gained like 10 pounds, and they would have met in the middle. Instead of Ryan Garcia trying to lose 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, he'd probably got his ass whooped. I feel like he would have gotten his ass knocked out. Let's be for real. Ryan Garcia ain't have all this power. And that's what they say. They get the call. Damn, I dropped my phone. They calling all the shots and shit. That should be crazy.
A-side also means a lot of money. Like a lot of money from just one night of boxing. I'm sure everyone has seen the crazy numbers boxers make, but again, it mostly stems from the power dynamics in boxing. All the money essentially gets funneled all the way to the top because those two fighters essentially made the event. You add on top of this a bullshit belt from a bullshit boxing organization creating super regular and franchise champions. That's a recipe for boxers getting a lot of star power to their head. And this power dynamic and star power leads to a couple of things. One, it makes fighters feel like they're way more accomplished than they actually are. It's pretty much a given that when these fighters retire, they're always going to say they've fought everyone, they have nothing left to prove, and they've accomplished everything. When Mayweather retired, he was yet to fight the quickly rising Pacquiao at the time. When Fury retired, he of course was yet to face Usyk or even have the British super fight with Anthony Joshua. When Teofimo retired, he was yet to face another young name at lightweight like Devin Haney, Gervonte Davis, or Ryan Garcia. And in a similar vein, Gervonte Davis is yet to face a real name at 135 to 140 in the likes of Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, or Lomachenko, but is already looking to retire. Because of boxing and the oversaturation of belts, it's hard to crown the best when everyone has a belt of some sort. Without a singular belt to recognize who's the best in the division and a belt that everyone's chasing, oftentimes it's up to the community to decide who's the best, and obviously leaves a lot of subjectivity. Though Tyson Fury hasn't fought Usyk or even Anthony Joshua at the time of his retirement, a lot of people were under the impression that he was the best heavyweight on the planet at the time until he wasn't. And sure, a lot of people think that Gervonte Davis is probably the best at 135, but he hasn't fought any of these guys yet. Guys that have actually fought for the belts at lightweight.
So he ain't fought the main niggas. He ducking his taco. That's what I'm hearing. So Gervonte Davis only get talked about a lot because he's ducking his taco. This nigga not fighting the main niggas. He not fighting them niggas. He fighting them niggas, but he picking and choosing his fight smartly. I guess that's kind of smart, like they say Floyd do. But like, damn, bro, how you not gonna fight the main niggas though?
There was a singular belt at lightweight, this would be the closest to an actual lineage. So to many fighters in these situations, they may feel like they've proven everything, fought the best, and feel like they're retiring on top with an artificially created undefeated record, a bullshit belt, and the community artificially calling them the best, since that's all they can base their career off of. Secondly, when these guys have this power and are used to having everything they want and really do think that they have everything they want, they can just leave at a moment's notice if they don't get what they want. Take the Teofimo Lopez situation. At only 25, no one would have thought that he was going to retire, let alone announce it, just a couple days after his big win over Josh Taylor. But as soon as he felt like he wasn't getting what he wanted money-wise, he just got up and left. After the Josh Taylor fight, he felt like a milli wasn't enough and even said for him to return to boxing, he needs a 9-figure contract. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. How much is 9 figures? I'm gonna look that shit up. $100 million to a damn. He asking for a lot. Who the fuck is dude?
Get the
Y'all
fuck
let me know
out
what's
of
his
here.
record,
When
man.
130-pound champ Emmanuel Navarrete moved up to 135, instead of the WBO creating a fight between him and Shakur for the belt, they had Emmanuel fight Denis Berinchyk instead, and in a fit, Shakur just decided to quit, deciding he doesn't fuck with the weak boxing game. And it seems like Gervonte Davis's retirement has the same sentiment, as he has said that this shit is trash, garbage, in reference to boxing. Again, because these guys have so much leverage in the game, they can just refuse to play if they don't get what they want. And lastly, why do you think they come back so quickly? You guessed it, money. Though these guys think they have all the leverage and all the money in the world, when you quit on practically your only source of income, you're going to feel it pretty quickly. Let's look at the top paid athletes in the world right now. A lot of them not only make a lot of money in their sport, but a lot of them can make equal amounts of money outside of their sport through endorsement. Oftentimes, that endorsement money can be as much as they're making in the game, but in some cases, it can be even more than what they're making in their respective game. But for boxers, yeah, let's just say they're not the most endorsement-friendly athletes. I'm not saying $10 million is peanuts, but it is in relativity to how much most fighters are making in the ring. So when fighters quit on practically 90% of their income, I would imagine they would feel it pretty quickly and return for a fat check.
But at the same time, it's like, bro, if your ass getting $100 million for one fight and you do like 4 of them bitches, that's $400 million. If you invest in that shit and you got money coming in and like how they claim Floyd got, do you really need to box again? Like, is you really gonna feel that shit? If you still got money, well, that is a quick $100 million though. Them businesses, that shit taking time to build and shit. Motherfuckers probably would go do another fight for 100, but they probably low key be saying that just to get their ass to make people want to come back, get their sales to go up even more and shit though. Low key though, I ain't gonna lie. That's like Tank saying he finna retire. He never fighting again after he knocked out Ryan Garcia. Everybody gonna be on his ass. Like, damn, that nigga ain't fighting. Then his next fight, everybody gonna watch it. Like, come on now, bro. It's probably just marketing.
If retirement was all part of the plan. Teofimo Lopez, though he didn't get his 9-figure contract, did come back to an estimated $3 to $4 million purse, which would be 3 to 4 times larger than what he was making from Josh Taylor. He himself even said he used his fake retirement as a publicity stunt, which wouldn't be out of the ordinary in boxing, as it's a sport known to use artificially made undefeated records and bullshit belts to promote fights. These quote-unquote coming out of retirement fights are just another way to gas up fights that don't really matter to anyone, and is again just another result of how boxing is set up. So whether or not these fighters actually feel accomplished enough to retire, or they're doing it for another incentive, it always seems like they're coming back to a bag, And I think, in my opinion, Gervonte is no different. But anyways, what
smart.
do you guys think about Gervonte Davis's retirement? Is he actually going to stay away from the...
Bro, Gervonte is not finna retire. That nigga is marketing just like his dad inside the industry, Floyd Mayweather. His mastermind, Floyd Mayweather. His master splinter. On fun them. His ass is not retiring. Like, come on now, be for real with yourself. That nigga he making too much money and he only 30 years old. His ass lying. Y'all let me know if y'all feel like he capping or what. I feel like he capping. He ain't finna retire. Let's be for real.